Baleta mu kkooti wano naliika musaayi nzenna nzimba ebigere eminga ebyo twategezaaliwa amawulire okuyingira okulaga ensi we nali nfaanana nawe musalire ekibonerezo ngenda mu kkomera n'omusango ogwasira nagumalira mu kkomera nabajjampa ne sweta naye nga ndalaba ng'eyali amaze okukola ekibonerezo ekyampeebwa nakubwa engo zino zaali bulungi nabalabukirimu nga ndi maasi naye wagamba bantu obujjajjabi obw'enjawulo mirapeinikirako mirapiri buli lunaku sifunanga bujjajjabi okusinga buno kongo kulekaalingayo ino ekikono oba bagitemako bagitemikoonfunaku bujjajjabi buliwo obubulaku bwange bugenda sinakujjajjabi
from what it shows that he never was a proper medical checkup, and given the previous physical conditions he went through, we want to say that this person either remanded to Maximum Bay facility, given that the medical examination that was ordered by court has never been done to date. And up to now we don't know the extent of these injuries. Your Honor, whereas this court is not vested in power here in judges, but it's vested in power to ensure that the accused person's rights are respected.
Your Honor, we are making a very specific prayer that community proceedings be deferred. The purpose for which we wanted him to address this court, it was our assessment as counsel that he cannot even appreciate this process. And against that background, we are not, as counsel, are not our instructions. Take him through the rigors of commitment before the order that this court made is respected. Your Honor, treatment does not mean pain killing. As officers of court, I want to be on record. We visited him, there has not been any medical attention as was directed by this court. And you cannot be seen to be railroading him through the process as if it's a mere procedure. Someone comes to court, is taken to another level.
But counsel, last time, counsel, as you are here,
yes.
I read the specific prayer.
Yes. Yes, we mentioned. And Your Worship, I wanted to.
And I advised you in the question of jurisdiction. You know what I expect you.
Yes.
Many applications, you have to say
Yes.
I don't know if you read
We have done so. Your Worship, I wanted to go on record for that.
that.
Yes.
Otherwise, you want to portray this court as if it has contained, but you know that.
Your Worship, I wanted to go on record for that. Your Worship, for the record, since 5th of May 2025, we have actually made forums on the issue of the medical report. First of all, if you make an application, the application we have made requires evidence from the prisons, and we have written to the Commissioner General requesting for a medical report, because from here I followed up this matter. I went with Mr. MUTWE, we met the OC prisons, and he made it very clear that that very moment he was going to subject our client to medical assessment, and the next day he would give us his report on the status. Up to now, we have not been availed.
So who's fault?
No, it is now the fault of the prison. Because we have done so, we have written to the Commissioner General, and we have not been availed with a report. The application has been made. That's why right now, now that the committee is ready, we are saying as council that it is not proper. It can be deferred. Because the problem with the delay is from the prison.
Does the committee stop you from pursuing?
Your Worship, our argument is he is not in a state of appreciating even what is going to be read in a committee. The state in which he is right now, he cannot understand what exactly is going to be read. That's why we are saying that we can defer, and a new directive is made that he is referred to Makshoni Bay for better medical assessment. It is from there that we can get a better medical report. It is our humble prayer.
I've noted the submission of the council for the children. But in the submission, we note also the condition of the legal medical examination of treatment is not a condition precedent for this commitment to High Court. Even when it is committed to High Court, orders this court made will be subjected to a medical examination and a proper treatment still stands. Because we believe him of being elected will be better, or whoever preferred charges against him, subject to try other public time. Now, for us, to give him ample time for treatment and examination, I pray that this time now, since he has no mentor here, it will be able to understand the procedure. We commit to him, demand him to wherever they have trained surgeons, he attends in medication without a requirement for him to be brought to this court again.
Well, maybe we are not understood, Your Honor. First was the prayer. The learned judge will see that this court has the powers to order for him to be transferred to any prison. As that prayer will be demanded in Action Bay, which we believe has the facilities that we require. Your Honor, an accused person is entitled at law to be present at all times or through his lawyers. Your Honor, presence does not mean having his face here. Presence means someone being here with all his mental capacities, in his proper state of mind, having capacity to follow proceedings. We've interacted with him. Even the lawyers are about to break down. Your Honor, state has admitted that even court appreciates the condition he's in. What more we need to state? Can we commit a person in his absence? Being here in person, in photograph, in picture, does not mean he's here. It's unclear therefore that still that there is no rush. Commuter should not be rushed. It may be deferred. If an assessment, even if it's just 2 weeks, we don't want more. So that we have a safe in court.
In the medical report, it is on hand of the
not also recognition of examination, not treatment, not recognition of it. Commitment to High Court. Even when he is committed to High Court, the orders this court made will be subjected to medical examination and the property.
In action bed, which we believe has the facilities that we require. Your Honor, an accused person is entitled at law to be present at all times or through his lawyers. Your Honor, presence does not mean having his face here. Presence means someone being here with all his mental capacities, in his proper state of mind, having capacity to follow proceedings. We've interacted with him. Even the lawyers are about to break down. Your Honor, state has admitted that even court appreciates the condition he's in. What more we need to state? Can we commit a person in his absence? Being here in person, in photograph, in picture, does not mean he's here. It's not clear therefore that still that there is no rush. Commuter should not be rushed. It may be deferred. An assessment, even if it's just 2 weeks, we don't want more. So that we have a safe in court who is not here, Your Honor, has provided proper support.
Afro Mobile Sanyuka TV bataddemu ssente mu muzannyo gwa Nnaalongo Kitono obusambatu ku maka tugenda baayo ku Friday eno lwala tusigadde ennaku nga bbiri tulyoka tutuuke ku gundi ya Nnaalongo Kitone. So nkubiriza abawagizi ba Nnaalongo Kitone, abaana abafangoni forest mwenna mubeerewo ku Nnaalongo Kitone. Ne bw'ogulayo tiketi bbiri ne bw'ogulayo tiketi emu obeera oba owagidde Kitone kozi oba owagidde mufangoni munno. Eddie Mutwe ali mu kkooti bamuleese olunaku olwaleero. Ezimu ku updates ze naakafunawo kati bali mu kkooti. Tetumanyi binaabivuddeyo byonna nja kubandika. Ensonga za presidential advisor ne Luwirayiti ku miliyoni 10 saategedde we zaakomekkerezeddwa. Gezezaako okunoonya kulama ndowooza alabika ali up and down, naye bwe tunaaba tumufunye ajja tukujambuza 10 baalimuwadde oba tukyali ku hearsay oba byonna tugenda kuba tubimanya. Luwirayiti ali fine bannamukwata batugambye ku ssaawa 10 ali fine. Solomini ffe kwetuli Zenkyuma Amafiina Roseti tukomawo kakadde okujja ne mubaako ne kyemwogera ku nsonga ezigenda mu maaso. Mama Fiina ng'oggyeko nti okuba nti musawo
omusaawa omulamuzi awa ensala ye
asigala abimanyi. Mulaba ku miggo wano.
We don't have order and next time I'll restrict you. You can politely walk out. That's polite matter. We have other cases ongoing.
Yeyembeera nga bweri mu kkooti
bagambye okudda ssaawa 8 omulamuzi awa ensala ye.
yeyembeera
Chinese video of the job, but I'm just afterwards with the bottom.
yeyembeera nga
Nenga watana following her just from
tubadde tukyali ku nsonga
bane ku birabo
waliwo omwana eyanyonyodde wano n'agamba tomato sauce kyakulwanyisa kyammwe.
Yes, straight away.
Godfather ayogedde ebigambo bingi nnyo wano. Mama Fiina wajjidde nga siwulirizaako ku muntu wa wansi n'adde n'akawulirizaako abantu
okay. I want first to get out of the boat and I tell what mulinde sawa munana jaja gambye mulinde sawa munana then I will ensala ya court tulabe ekirako naye nga mugamba muti abakyali bange musobola okubirabo mwena
abalala bagambye mu Godfather byabadde ayogera abadde lwaki mutambula ne tomato sauce
zina bagamba niwoyo kubawo kigenda mu maaso kabewa tulina okuwa information ebetambula mu ggwanga mu maaso. Right about now, tufune ku simu interview leba kanso alinjawulo ndowooza tweyongere maaso tuyite saa 8 okulamuza nawera ensala ye ey'enjawulo. Okay. Mumpe ku birabo bannange tufulumira bweru mumpe ku birabo mumpe ku gift gift pozi bye birabo omaze okubimpa tuza kansoke mberekereze then nja kudda saa 8 tweyongere maaso tulabe ensala y'omulamuzi kyanabasazeewo nenga mwebale kubeera bakyali bange mwebale kufulumira mwebale kunjagala kansubire muli bulungi abatali bulungi mujja kuba bulungi anytime right about from now. Katonda yasinga okumanya Katonda yasinga okumanya olina Shafik Media nga bulijjo omuweerezaawo aterya ntama eyewayo okuweereza bananga bansiima muliwa byansiima bakanga kiriste byansiima muli bakabi abansiima muli bakabi abansiima muli bakabi nange mbagala nnyo ne bwetudira saawa 8 kansubire buli omuntu agenda kubanga nakyategeseeyo kadata awagwa n'ebintu bwebityo tulina okwebereramu buli muntu abeererewo mune buli muntu abeererewo mune buli muntu abeererewo mune tugenda kudda saawa 8 buli muntu abeererewo mune mumpe ku kadata ku saawa 8 nga tukomyewo sikati saawa 8 nkagala saawa 8 naye nga muli bakabi nnyo tudda ku saawa 8 kasooke mberekereze ndoza tujja kudda after lunch at around 2.
Ekitegeeza kati abasajja balina okuyiga okusooka okukeberanga oba kituufu.
Abambuza kamera eri mu mbeera ki kamera naye tidde byeraba naye nga muli bakabi nnyo bakyali bava kubeera ku social media so kamberekereze tujja kudda ku saawa 8 ya muli bangi mujja kudda ku saawa 8 kasooke mbayiwe mberekereze mweraba.
The atmosphere under which we transact business here must be free. When we are considering the amendment, the so-called coffee bill, we had military people raiding parliament, beating up MPs and arresting others, switching off rights, locking up journalists in the conference center, in the basement. This morning I came here. I had mobilized the people of Chira to come here and witness proceedings today because I am here on their behalf. But I came here when the whole parliament had been barricaded by policemen with guns. So the procedural issue I am asking, and I have also seen people who look like SFC in suit stationed somewhere. So I want to be assured, Madam Speaker, that you are not going to surrender us like last time to be beaten by SFC.
How did I surrender you?
We are under you. We thought you will not allow that rights are switched off, that an unknown people...
Honorable, you mean you've reduced me to that level of switching on?
Madam Speaker, I thought you as a speaker...
I will always protect my members. I will protect my members. Next item. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like that you guide. Last week, before you adjourned the House, I did raise a critical matter regarding the bills that are before us to process, which are on the order paper for second and third reading. And the complaint that I raised at the time, Right Honourable Speaker, was that we were hurrying through the process. I even tabled here notices by the clerk to Parliament and the clerk to the committee, inviting very hastily stakeholders to come and give input to the UPDF amendment bill and, of course, the political parties amendment bill. Right Honourable Speaker, the stakeholders that were invited, most of them received those communications at 8 a.m., requiring them to be present before the committee at 9 a.m. Uganda Law Society received their letter at 11:50 a.m., and they were being required to appear at 12 noon, 10 minutes later. And yet that was the only day available for submission of views, memoranda, and so on and so forth. When I raised this issue before you, Right Honourable Speaker, you committed and said that I should not worry. The process is going to be given adequate time. After all, according to our rules, we've got 45 days within which to process these bills. That was your commitment, Honourable Speaker. You said, let me not worry. You're going to give adequate time to process these bills. And some of these stakeholders actually wrote back to the committee requesting for time on Monday, Tuesday, and so on. But as we went into the weekend, colleagues on the committees that were considering these bills were at a hotel considering the bill and writing their reports. In other words, disregarding the views of the different stakeholders. Honorable, I don't know if you want to allow information in my procedural point.
Can you finish on your procedural point?
Even though I know he had a very critical issue to, to beef it up. But like I was saying, Honorable Speaker, it appears as if there was a machination to lock out the different stakeholders. And yet you committed, Right Honorable Speaker, that there's going to be adequate time. And I said, we are going to follow your guidance, which you gave here. But that did not happen. I don't want to think that the Speaker lied to us as the House. Or could it be that the committee disregarded your ruling? Because when you speak, when you're in that chair, you're giving guidance and ruling. You said the committees are going to avail adequate time. But the committees went into the weekend and they began to write their report. What happened, Right Honourable Speaker? Did the committee disregard the guidance that you gave? I would request that you help us on that matter.
Thank you. Honourable Lob, I forwarded the report, and after forwarding it to the committee, they are supposed to report back. And we give them 45 days, within the 45 days. Now, if the committee finishes work in one day, who am I to say that, why have you finished it today? And secondly, when the work is done, I apply Rule 26. I put this work on the order paper. I do not get involved in the committee work. Committee work is by the whips, government chief whip, opposition whip, independent whip, all those ones. Prime Minister, maybe you could answer why you have hurried with your work to bring in the House.
Best performing prime ministers. So if I can produce work in such a short time, I want the leader of opposition to appreciate. That's what I can.
Yes, Lord.
It's very possible, by the way, that the Prime Minister does not even know the contents of the committee report. But she was very quick to rise up to defend.
Honorable
Speaker, I am on procedure. Legal Committee Chairman, Honorable Namuyango, I am on point of procedure. You're always absent here. You don't even know the rules.
Please.
Prime
Minister, order. Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members, let's have calm. Let's Law finish his statement.
I like that the Prime Minister ceases to get excited. Please don't get excited. This is a parliament of rules. And you have been here for quite a bit of time. I don't know why as Prime Minister you don't read the rules.
Honorable Law, can you raise your issue?
And I was raising it before the Prime Minister, who doesn't know the rules, rose up to disorganize me.
No, you raise your issue. Raise your issue.
Let me then raise it. Hopefully the Prime Minister will be calm and quiet. Right Honourable Speaker, as I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted by the Prime Minister, I had expected, Right Honourable Speaker, the committee chairperson to help us, and because when you gave that guidance, that there's going to be adequate time, for me, I took that to be guidance for the committee. So I don't know why they hurried and locked out.
No, let's hear from the chair of the committee. Chair committee.
Perhaps.
Chair committee.
Even in 1 hour. Forget about one entire day. But you see, that is in the event when there are no interested people as stakeholders to give input. Because you see, our law passing process is supposed to be consultative.
Can we look at that
Right,
when you reach the bill?
But that's all right. Let me finish this, Right Honourable Speaker, and then you'll guide. So the reason I have insisted on this matter is because there were stakeholders who were saying we want to give our input. And you looked them out. That's the challenge. You can produce and process a bill in even 1 hour.
No, as of now, we don't even know which stakeholder they interacted with.
I am a stakeholder, Right Honorable Speaker.
So what we need to do is to wait and hear which stakeholders they consulted.
Allow me to finish and then you rule, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm a stakeholder. My political party received the invitation at 8 a.m. saying come at 9 a.m. That's the National Unity Platform. We wrote to the committee and they received the letter requesting that this was very short notice. There's no magic we could do.
That is
and requested for Monday
that is on which bill
at
now?
9 a.m.
Which bill now are we talking
on the UPDF amendment bill.
Okay, let's first start with the
allow me to finish, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Lord.
The committee received our letter. They did not write back to us. So as we were waiting to show up on Monday to present our views, over the weekend they were busy processing, writing a report. That's problematic, Right Honorable Speaker, because you see, we are supposed to be a people-centered parliament, meaning that the laws we pass, which should be for the good of the people, those people should be consulted so that they have their input. And by the way, you can end up disregarding the input of those stakeholders, but listen to them. You cannot disregard them and think it's okay. No, listen to them, and then you can disregard them. But when you don't give them opportunity to show up, you are violating our laws. Right Honorable Speaker, finally, I was alarmed because you see, we seem to be creating and painting an atmosphere that regardless of what the views that come through are, this bill is finito. I saw with sadness the government chief whip late in the night. He was speaking to the media. He said, we have met and concluded that this bill is going to be passed as is. That worried me because the government chief whip, who is our colleague here, knows that this bill, the UPDF amendment bill, was brought to this house by government. I had thought that as government chief whip, you would be interested in a bill that you had brought.
The procedure
I am raising it, I'm building it, Right Honorable Speaker. I had thought that as government chief whip, you would be interested in input of different stakeholders into your bill as government. But when you bring a bill, and then you say, we are going to pass it as is, regardless of any other input, regardless whether consultations have happened or not, that is problematic. That is outside the law. Right Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, and I want to appreciate them, they made through the night to even put together a minority report. But what you are saying is that that is disregarded. Right Honorable Speaker,
give me procedurally, where is the minority?
Is it all right that we sit here and pretend that we are processing a bill within the law, that we are capturing the views of all the other people, and yet not? Because we gave you the benefit of doubt to say, okay, let's partake in this process. But you have abused that because you're saying we don't care. And at night, the government chief whip says, regardless, we are passing it as it is. So why did you invite people? Maybe that's why you didn't even give them time.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, finally, I am very hard-pressed, together with my colleagues, for us to sit here and participate in a sham process. And I'm calling it a sham process because it is pretentious. When you bring a bill here, you should give it time for people to have their input. But you are saying, we don't want your input, we are going to pass the bill as is. That's why, Right Honorable Speaker, you did not rein in on the committee to give adequate time to the stakeholders. That means this is pretentious, this is a sham for these two bills, the UPDF amendment bill and the political parties amendment bill. So, Right Honorable Speaker, myself together with my colleagues, we are hard-pressed to participate in this sham process. So we shall leave you here to participate in your sham process, to process your bill, pretending that you are getting the input of the people of Uganda and yet not. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I will take my leave because I don't want to participate in this sham process. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. Honorable members, next item.
Item 4. Item 4 on the order paper.
Honorable members, you recall that on Wednesday, 14th May, 2025, Honorable Nakut Faith, table the private members.
Thank you. Right. In the name of Adonia Ayebare, appointment of cabinet members are provided for in the Constitution, and reference to a member of cabinet is severally referred in our rules of procedure, how Parliament interacts with members of the cabinet. The procedural matter I'm raising is twofold. One is for the government, leader of government business, to brief this House, because my expectation was that a member appointed to cabinet would be forwarded to Parliament,
Appointments Committee,
for Parliament to Appointments Committee to interact, approve or disapprove, but also to inquire on the actual arrangement of that nature of appointment. The second procedural matter is that shortly after that appointment, Madam Speaker, there were informations in the public domain, and I saw copies of letters, that Ambassador Adonia Ayebare is implicated. There are allegations.
Kanya katukiddemu tekiba kya bwenkanya ensonga eyasalibwawo edda Supreme Court kubanga ate tugitandikako. Supreme Court ya Uganda yasalawo dda nti abantu ba bulijjo tebalina kutwalibwanga mu kkooti z'amagye, nate ffe bwe tutandika okuteekawo etteeka eriteeka abantu ba bulijjo mu kkooti z'amagye tekiba kya bwenkanya, naye ate mu article 92 eya Constitution naffe nga Parliament ya Uganda tetukkirizibwa kukola amateeka nga Supreme Court nga court judiciary nga yakisalawo dda, kati obwo tebuba bwenkanya.
N'ensonga tennaba kutandika batugamba tukole ki? Tufulume. Ze nsobi zennyini ze twakolanga ku